You guys, this is my render folder. These extra files down here, these are just extracted stuff, so you don't have to worry about that stuff. This is the Blender from the old version, and this is the version that I use now. But I just put the zip file in here and extracted it straight into the folder. And then of course got the Blender folder, pose blends, poses, props, rendered animations, rendered pics. This one I have for Ripper, just to keep all my Ripper stuff. And then scenes and sims. You can also put your Sims 4 Studio in here. That just helps keep everything all together. What you want to make sure that you have before you start is, obviously you want to play your game, create a really cute sim, save the sim as a game. So like in your game file, what I always do is save as, and then I put render and the month and save it as that. That way I have a separate folder from all my render stuff and my gameplay stuff. And you're going to need to know which save file that is. So I would suggest just going in your game and saving the file so it's right at the top. First thing you want to do after you save your game, we're going to rip our sim. So open up Sim Ripper. Check you guys' settings. If you guys play on a hard drive, check your settings and make sure that they're entered into the correct path. So just hit setup at the top of Sim Ripper. And we're going to go to select game. It's going to bring up your save folder from The Sims 4. If you click date modified, it should bring up the most recent version that you have. Make sure you click the actual save version, not any of these version 0s, version 1s, none of the extras, the actual save file. And it'll also say save over here. And just open it. Over here on the side, you'll see all of the Sims in that save file. So you can either sort them by last name, first name, or their household name. And then you can select a sim here on the side. Once your sim is selected, you want to come over here to this side and select this drop down menu right here. It should say single mesh and texture at first. You want to change it to solid and glass meshes and textures. This should be unchecked, so you want to go ahead and check that so it'll clean the mesh. Down here you can do tan lines if you want to, but you don't have to. And that's pretty much all that you have to do in order to get the sim to look the way it should once you rip it. Okay, so the other thing about Ripper is it takes a lot of memory, a lot of space. Try not to do a bunch of different applications at the same time as you're doing Ripper. Okay, so this is just basic. This is what it should look like when you choose a sim. She's base game. Well, not base game. She's with the Realm of Magic pack, but if I wanted her, I could hit that and then it'll work. And that'll pop up. What I just did was I hit the DAE button to save this little sim here. Yes, it is normal for Ripper to not respond while loading. It is normal for Ripper to not respond while loading up, while loading sims, while working on sims, while saving sims. That's why I'd say don't do anything except for rip if you're ripping, because it will crash your computer. Yes, it will. It popped up with where do I want to save it. So I went to render, my Sims folder. I made a new folder with her name. And then under here, I just put, this is not the fit, because this is not the fit. No, ma'am. And we're going to hit save. That was really quick because there's no CC. Sure. Okay. So next thing we can do is we're going to go ahead and set up the Sims 4 Studio. If you have never used the Sims 4 Studio, the first time that it loads up, it's going to load up all these, it's going to say all this crazy stuff. Just ignore it. Let it do what it's doing. All this will be empty. It'll ask you to type in your creator name. You can type in whatever name you want to type in. That is for when you create CC yourself, not necessarily for what we're going to be doing, but it makes you do it anyway. So just type your creator name there. So the first thing you want to do on the Sims 4 Studio, you want to go to your settings. The Sims 4 path. This could be a couple of different ways. I have my Sims 4 on a hard drive, so mine is going to the hard drive. Make sure you do it through the program's files and not through like your mods folder, because it won't work. Even if you have your game going through your hard drive, make sure that your Sims 4 documents is going through the computer. So it will probably look like this. If you're on Windows, I'm not really sure about Mac, but I'm pretty sure it's about the same. And then your Blendr path, this is why you need the two different blenders. So 2.76 is the old version of Blendr. That's the one that you need to connect to Sims 4 Studio, because the new version of Blendr does not support the Sims 4 Studio. You won't be able to get poses, you won't be able to get objects or anything that you actually need from the Sims 4 Studio if you try to use the most recent version. So you just go to this, and you would go to the old version of Blendr, and you want to obviously just connect that version of Blendr. So now that that's set up, everything should be good to go. You should have a sim ready to blend, ready to get rendered, and you should be all good to start doing your poses and stuff too. So now you can open up Blendr. You got this. These are my recent files. If you just now opening it, it shouldn't have nothing under here. You don't have to mess with this center part at all. You can just go straight in. Okay. Before you do anything, what you want to do is delete all this stuff. Just go over here to this side. Get that camera, the cube, the light, and hit delete. Bye. Don't want that. Otherwise, you're going to be very confused. Go up to the top and hit File, Import, Collada, which is the DAE that you just saved from Ripper. When you open this up, it's going to just automatically be at your Documents folder. You want to find your render folder wherever you put it. Again, if you are just now using this, you won't have this bookmarks, but I strongly suggest that you put your bookmarks over here. So when you get your render folder, just hit the plus button, and then same thing for all of these. Okay, so from your render folder, you're going to go to the Sims folder where you just saved it, and then you click the DAE that you just saved. Your sim will pop up white like this. Nothing happened, nothing's wrong, you didn't do anything wrong. Breathe, you're fine. Go up to this right part here. You're going to see these 4 circles. You want to hit the third one over. Yes, they're still ugly. Don't worry, we're going to fix it. You go up to these tabs up here, go over to shading. This is the part that gets tricky, but once you get it down, it's really, really easy. Okay. We're going to go over to this right side, hit rig. This is your sim. Once you pull down the rig, if you've ripped them correctly, most sims, especially ones with CC, have 2 meshes underneath here. One that just has their name, and the other one that has their name with glass. So you're going to select the one with their name, and in the shading window, this will pop up. You want to go over here on the right side, go down to this bottom red circle right here. Material properties is what it's called. And you're going to scroll down until you get to settings. You're going to come down to the shade box down here, this black box, and you're going to hit on your keyboard Shift A. It's going to pop up this window here. Go down to shader, transparent BSDF. Place that down. You're going to hit Shift A, go back to shader, mix shader. And you're going to place that one between principal BSDF, this green box here, and material output, this purplish red box here. Then you're going to take this from transparent BSDF, you're going to link it to the first shader on Mix Shader. It's going to automatically move this one down. That's where it should be. Just leave it there. You're good. Then you're going to take this gray fact and pull it over to this gray alpha under base color. Okay? Then we're going to go down to this orange specular box. You're going to hit this yellow color button, pull it up to specular under principled BSDF. Then you want to come over here. Remember, you're on material properties over here, this red circle, and you want to hit alpha hashed on both of these. We're under the shader box, the black box with all these. Under glass, on your keyboard, hit shift and the A key. It's going to pop up this box. You're going to go down to shader. You're going to go down to transparent BSDF. Just put that down anywhere. You're going to hit shift A again. Go down to shader, mixed shader. I'm going to put that in between principled BSDF and material output. You're going to take the transparent BSDF, connect it to the first shader under Mix Shader. It'll automatically move this line down. That's good. Leave it there. You're going to take this fact and connect it over to alpha under base color. Then you're going to go down to the orange specular box and connect this yellow color line to this gray specular under principled BSDF. Go over to the right side, material properties. Make sure you scroll all the way down to settings. You're going to go Blendr mode, alpha hashed, shadow mode, alpha hashed. There's your sim. Ready to be posed.